it's a team effort. And if you're scared to talk, if you're scared to communicate, you can go through 50 frames, 100 frames, and have terrible photos and not know why when it was something that you could have simply asked to see a test shot for, and then you could have made your adjustments and gone from there instead of wasting frames.
5 shows made 3 million a week. You are now looking at the best, the elite. You are now looking at the best, the elite. You are now looking at the best.
Welcome back, besties. I'm Lola Shell, and together we're becoming the best, aka our best selves, this year and every year. But how could I do that if I did not lead by example by taking you to model with me? So come along with me on part 2 of this hotel shoot. Let's get to it. If you haven't already, make sure you go back and check out part 1. It's jam-packed with insights on things you should already know how to do as a model, as well as some really high-level pro tips for your modeling career. In this video, though, I'm going to show you and really explain to you a couple things you should know how to do when shooting at night as a model. All right, let's get into it. P.S. Stay all the way to the end for my best pro model tips. First up, you need to understand that as a model, the light is your friend. It is your best friend, actually. It creates the mood, the vibe, the aesthetic of what you're actually shooting. Don't believe me? Tap your nearest photographer and ask them how important lighting is, okay? For the shoot, for the project, for the campaign, for you. Lighting is everything. So when you're shooting at night, it's a completely different dynamic. Case in point. Do you see how the shift of the light, airy, dusk settling across the horizon vibe from that previous video was versus now it looks like we just hopped into a club? Yeah, the lighting is that important. So because lighting is so important at night, you have to find it. You have to find it. It's not enough for you to rely on the flash. You need to be aware of your key light, which is the light that you see that's, on both of us, and it's like really, really bright. And then you have your flash, which is, if I'm not mistaken, that light that's to my left in the shot is the flash, okay? You need to be very, very aware of it because, again, it's how you're going to be lit for this shot. So being aware of your key light primarily and then the flash secondary is super important. Why? Because the key light is always going to be on. So whether that flash fires or doesn't fire, your main light source is coming from the key light. You need to know where that is at all times and favor it. Okay. And then for my darker models, for my melanated models out there, you need to absolutely know where the light is. Okay. One, it's unfortunate to say, but a lot of times we are not well lit in the entertainment industry, whether that be acting or modeling. So it's up to you to advocate for yourself by making sure you get your fair share of the light. Now, as you can see, because of my outfit and the height difference and my complexion, I literally was moved to highlight the split in my skirt, as well as the height difference by being moved to the right of your screen instead of the left. Because at this level, I am now fully in the light. I am fully lit, no matter flash or not. Do you guys see what I'm saying? If it makes sense to you, put key in the comments below. And with that, let's get on to the next thing you need to know to shoot at night as a model. Do not be afraid to do feedback and conversation with the people that you are on set with. If you notice, even though I have the gift for gab, as you guys can tell from YouTube, I'm talking to the model that I'm modeling with. I'm talking to the photographer. I'm talking to the videographer. I'm communicating on set because, again, I have an image in my mind of what I look like, but that could be totally false because the lighting is totally different and it's at night. That's why she came over. She showed me what we look like so I can make sure my outfit is together, my hair is together, I'm being lit correctly. Do not be afraid to communicate, okay? Even when it comes to touching my fellow model, I'm just putting my arm on her shoulder, but I'm not entitled to her body. I asked her before I started, posing on her, hey, are you comfortable if I touch you, et cetera, like communicate. This is a team effort, all right? That's one of the stylists who's coming in just to make sure that we're all good. Everything's laying flat. She makes the small adjustments, but it's a team effort. And if you're scared to talk, if you're scared to communicate, you can go through 50 frames, 100 frames, and have terrible photos and not know why, when it was something that you could have simply asked to see a test shot for, and then you could have made your adjustments and gone from there instead of wasting frames. You know, I understand on every set that might not be possible, all right, because there are some sets where you just gotta go, you gotta roll with it, and if you're doing terrible, they'll tell you. But when you're shooting at night, never take a chance. Never take a chance, okay? Because it's less forgiving. Everything's so much more meticulous because it's at night. So getting the lighting right is essential, but also making sure that you are communicating on set is always going to make sure that you get the best shots for you and, of course, for the client. Let's go into the next tip. Okay, so this one is kind of a combo, right? And it's being aware and making micro adjustments. Let me walk you through it. First of all, being aware. So this is a group setting. There's like 8 of us here, if I'm not mistaken. The young man who just walked into the frame with the camera on a gimbal, he does video. The young lady who walked across the screen right now, who has the camera, she's a photographer. So what they're looking for are in the same vein, but totally different, okay? Photography is capturing a moment in time. It's capturing a moment that's supposed to tell a story. Video is a little bit more liberal in the fact that it's catching it all in motion. It's more about the aesthetics, it's more about the vibe. It's more about all these individual things working together. The outcome is telling the brand story, which is great, but you need to adjust as a model for both of those environments. If it's for photo, especially if they're not shooting at the same time, you need to be aware that micro movements are your friend. That's why I said, like, you know, be aware and then make adjustments. Micro adjustments are your friends for photos. It allows you to make every frame bring something different with minimal effort. Now, this is something I teach way more about inside of the Model University, where I've like dedicated all the information that I know and that has made me a full-time model into a literal school where you can learn how to do the same, no matter your look or location. So with all that aside, learning how to do micro movements with your poses that look effortless is something that you need as a model, no matter what your niche is. No matter if you're doing hotels, no matter if you're doing beauty work, no matter if you're doing runway, those micro movements, especially for your poses, oftentimes is what sells the overall aspect of the project, right? Versus in video. In video, they are all about getting as much movement as possible for most of your projects. Now, there are some video projects where it's just like it's a little bit more subtle, but for most of the ones that I've done, especially anything commercial related where it's supposed to be advertising for a brand, they want motion. They want things that, you know, really carry the eye through the project. You know what I'm saying? Because they have videos, just a compilation of all these photos of time back to back. They need a lot of motion to make it interesting. So when we're shooting video, that's when we're, you know, picking up a lot of food, toasting a lot more, laughing a lot more, you know, slapping the person next to us, like in a friendly slap, like not a slap on the face or on the butt, but like, you know, like pushing their shoulder, like that's a video. But being aware that that is what's occurring is going to help you to be a better model, versus knowing that photo, if you do too big of a motion, it can blur you out. Your hand can look weird. You could be caught in between a really awkward scenario. Like, you gotta be aware of what you're shooting and what they need, and then being savvy enough as a model to make the adjustments. That's why, even though this looks like totally organic, oh, we're just eating, we're just having fun, every single person at this table is very aware that at this point we're doing photo. They're very aware, because if you see, all of the movements have died down. All of them. They become very muted. It just went from us haha and kikiing to, you know, repeating small motions, picking up a napkin, picking at some sushi, maybe taking a drink. But everybody has like pared down significantly. Okay, I thought he was going to block the whole frame for that, but you're going to notice that when video comes back in, it's going to be this whole grandiose of like the laughing, the movement. It's going to rise up again, because guess what? We are all professional models, whether you're self-represented or you're with an agency. We all got booked for this, and we all understand what our jobs are as models. Now, fun fact about this, if there's a shot in particular that a client needs, there's many times that the photographer and the videographer will come to you and let you know, hey, we need to get this shot that's on the mood board. These are things I want to do specifically. So if you see them like pointing or instructing somebody specifically to do something, it's normally because they have a shot that they need to get and they have to inform the model. But other than that, they allow you to be the professional that you are. This is the pro model tip that I told you guys to wait to the end for. And it's even if it's at night or if it's during the day, you need to know what works best for you and why somebody should hire you as a model. Okay, every single model that you saw was booked, whether they had an agency or not, because they showed what they did well and why this company should book them. You need to know how to do the same. If you don't, you can just drop the word help in the comments below, and I will absolutely reach out with resources and maybe even hop on a call with you to really troubleshoot how we can get your modeling career on the right path so that you can start getting paid. Other than that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this entire Model With Me Part 2. If you haven't already subscribed, I drop videos like this on a regular basis. So if you want to know more about modeling, I definitely have other resources for you. So if that's something that you're more interested in, definitely drop the word model below and I'll send you the free resources I have for that. Until the next video, lovelies, talk to you then. Bye.